All right, we're recording.
All right. Do you want to just start off then?
Yep, let's start off.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for agreeing to do this interview. I think it's a good way to get information out there to the seniors. So, yeah, let's just get into it.
Okay.
So I guess the biggest question that we saw from the seniors is, what are the plans for returning to the building this year? Like, is there currently a plan to return physically, or is that not likely?
So we'll take our direction from the state on that,
Okay.
and our district has a say, but what the state does supersede that. And so if the governor has anything in place to allow us to come back to school, then we'll come back to school. If not, if the school closure then is extended at the state level, we'll abide by that. So it's a little premature right now. We don't know what to expect. But currently, the plan is to be back on April 27th.
Okay. What will grades look like going forward? Like, are they going to continue with this pass fail system, or are we going to return to letter grades at some point?
Yeah, I think unfortunately my answers are going to be a lot of the same of we need to wait and see.
Okay.
However, as it is right now, we're just getting this extended experiences going, and we're hearing from a number of families that aren't there ready yet to meet us, and so it's a little bit staggered coming out, and so we want to keep it at a pass-fail, credit, no credit, just to gauge engagement and what students are doing. I think with next week being spring break, it buys us a little bit of time to get organized and continue to reach out to certain families and things. But
Okay.
as it is right now, the plan is to continue with what we're doing. But that then we'll ask the question about semester grades, what they'll look like, what tests will look like, and assessments will look like, and things. And there's a lot of figuring out to do on that.
Yeah, sounds like it. Another question that we saw was, can students who have paid fees for like the spring sports season, will they be able to get a refund on those fees, or is there not currently a plan for that?
Well, if we're back by the end of the month, that still allows for some form of a tiny little season, and so we'll see. I would only imagine if we're in some sort of extended school closure and there is no sports season, then that doesn't make sense to pay a fee for that.
Right.
People also asked about cap and gown fees and graduation. I think I would want to hold off on that, because again, if we're returning to school, that means graduation is on as planned and everything is on as planned. Once we get to a point, if we get to a point that there's a problem with holding a graduation and that would be canceled, then I think we can talk about any kind of refunds or things with the company. But at the same time, I think that there's other opportunities to use a cap and gown outside of the graduation ceremony. There's, family photos and things like that. So
right.
We'll need to wait till it's not so premature on that one.
Okay. Incidentally, my next question was about graduation and the plans going forward for it. So currently there's not a plan to cancel or postpone the physical ceremony, right?
No. And again, the current plan is that we're back in school on April 27th.
Okay.
And then we'll just have to keep updating and things. In fact, I just talked to the graduation speech coordinator. We were sharing emails, and she's going to put out some graduation ceremony voting to seniors here pretty soon, and the advisors are getting things going. So the planning will keep happening as if we're having a graduation.
Okay. And there's no plans for like a contingency right now where we have to like postpone the ceremony?
No, not right now.
Okay.
There's planning to have a plan, but we're just kind of waiting and seeing.
Okay. Another question kind of related to that was like about the moving up assembly, if we're still planning on having that, but I assume it's too early for something like that.
If we're having a graduation, then we're having moving up, and we're doing the grad rehearsal and the senior breakfast and everything as planned.
Okay. Also with prom, have there been any changes to those plans as of yet?
Nope. Right now, prom is on as planned.
Okay.
I think fortunately the date is rather late this year, and that may work out to be in our favor, but still is on as planned.
Okay. And how about final exams and classes? Are there any changes to those?
I think final exams would have to look a little bit differently than they have in the years past, and for content coverage and everything like that. So if we're back in school, that means we've lost this pretty valuable chunk of time for the end of this quarter. So that'll just have to be adjusted.
Right.
But if we're back in school, the format would look relatively the same. Every class would have to adjust. If we're not back in school and we're doing it this way, then I think it's going to look wildly different. And I know that there's ways to take assessments at home and have it be secure and things like that. And we'll just have to get up to speed to be able to give students a fair chance.
Okay.
I think that's one of the things that I really want to emphasize, though, is if there's stress about grades, if there's stress about completing the work and keeping up, I think it's going to depend on the classes students have taken. So, like, I think AP classes and college and high school classes are a lot different. But I don't want a student to be penalized based on what's going on in the world right now, and if somebody's having trouble with access, or if there's a family compromised situation because of COVID-19, then we're going to extend some flexibility as much as we can to be helpful. So nobody's going to fall behind because life is really weird and hard right now.
Yeah, definitely.
But at the same time, we're going to try to keep this going and keep the connection going and the engagement and things. So for teachers, it's going to be quite a balancing act. And right now, there's this tension between grades and flexibility and planning and unknown and things. So there's a lot to figure out. But we definitely have a compassionate view when we're looking at what we're going to be doing here this rest of the semester.
Okay. And the final question is just, do you have anything else that you want to add to the seniors, the senior class in general?
I think I always do. The first part of my education career was at the middle level. I had 13 years at the middle level, and then ultimately graduated up to the high school. And one of the reasons I wanted to do that, and one of the reasons it has stayed with me, is the seniors. And there's something about a ninth grade student coming in that's just happy to be in high school and out of middle school. And by the time you progress and get to the junior and senior, where you have a plan and a vision of what you want to do, and you're getting close to the finish line, there's nothing like it. And so my heart goes out to the seniors that are right now not having the same experience that the previous 59 graduating classes have had at Mount Lake Terrace, and that's unfortunate. But I also think, there's nobody wants this to happen. There's also the opportunity to look at this and say, we're doing something that nobody else has done in 60 years, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it well. And we're going to succeed and thrive and get through this. And so, there's going to be some positive payoffs from this down the road. I think the seniors will look at things differently than everybody else has, and not take stuff for granted that other graduating classes have and things too. So, but my heart goes out to seniors, and it put together that little video just to say, hey, we're all thinking of you, and you're on our hearts, and while we count on seniors to be mature and the leaders at school, we also draw our inspiration from seniors, and watching people, the passion and commitment that you have, and what you're wanting to do and what you're focusing on. So sorry this is happening, and when we are planning everything, we're just going to do everything we can to make sure that your futures are intact and that your experiences are going to be as maximized as they can be this spring.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thanks for doing this interview.
Hey, one person asked, I noticed there was one question that said, Mr. Schellenberg, how are you doing?
And how are you doing?
Doing as best as we can. And I have my own high school children at home. We go to a different school, and you know, it's I think everybody knows it's really complicated, and how we feel changes by the day and by the hour sometimes. But I draw a lot from my ability to connect with the teachers and hopefully connect with the students in the way we have doing this interview and getting some messages out and things. But just know that we care about our community, and look forward to, after break, doing a little bit more with clarity and definition of what we're doing. It won't be as up in the air, I think.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Nolan.